From this study, we found that the undiagnosed diabetes in this population are not the same, and there's a huge gap. We found that the Mexicans and Mexican immigrants are very high prevalence of undiagnosed diabetes. Mexicans have 44% of undiagnosed diabetes, and Mexican immigrants have 39%, compared to US-born Hispanics in the US side, that's about 15%, and US whites has only like 7%. So there's a huge gap. The disparity is very obvious. Although we don't know the causes why, what's the causes for the higher prevalence of undiagnosed diabetes for population of Mexicans and Mexican immigrants. But we do know from this study suggested that we should do some targeted interventions to increase detection of diabetes among those special populations. Undiagnosed diabetes has many consequences as compared to normal blood glucose, people with normal glucose. Those consequences including unseen clinical events, for example, like emergency room visits and unnecessary hospitalizations for people they don't aware they have diabetes. And also for those people with undiagnosed diabetes, they still have the same comorbidities and complications as people with diabetes. Those may not exist for people without with the normal glucose. And also there are long-term impact to people health, because as people with undiagnosed diabetes, they don't realize they have that disease, they don't control or manage diabetes already exists. So in long term, and the impact of complications or progress of diabetes goes faster, and disease may uncontrolled. So those are the long-term impact. And of course, there's a cost, a burden to the health care, because diabetes may be easier to control in the early stage or before the symptoms, the complications happen, and it's cheaper to treat that time, and it's more costly when you develop symptoms and complications.